Picture this, it's Monday morning, you wake up, you're feeling motivated, you're full of energy, and you're ready to smash the week. But it gets to around Thursday and your energy starts to dip, those cravings start to creep in, and before you know it, it's Friday and you are staring down the barrel of the weekend, and the wine and cheese platters with the girls are calling your name. Or maybe it's someone's birthday, or a wedding, or catching up for brunch with some friends. Suddenly, now your whole plan feels impossible to stick to. And by Sunday night, with a weekend full of overeating, you're left feeling frustrated, thinking, why can't I stay consistent? If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. Weekends are where people struggle most. But what if I told you there's a way to navigate through all this, to stay on track and enjoy yourself? At Proflex Health, we've developed a unique strategy that we call Proflex Cycling. And this has been an absolute game changer for our clients. Today in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how Proflex Cycling works and why it can completely transform your fat loss journey. First, let's talk about why weekends feel so much more difficult to stick to your diet compared to the weekdays. There are three main issues that I see here. The weekends are usually full of social events, full of opportunities to indulge. Whether it's those wine and cheese platters with the girls, or a buffet of food at a wedding, or even just some casual drinks with some friends. Now these moments are great for connection, which is an important part of overall health, but they can quickly completely derail your progress if you don't approach them in the right way. The second problem with weekends is mental burnout. After 5 days of being disciplined and sticking to your diet and reducing your calories, this can have you feeling mentally drained by the time the weekend rolls around. This can make the cravings harder to resist, and suddenly the idea of staying on track starts to feel overwhelming. And the third problem with the weekends is the all or nothing mindset that comes with it. Here is the classic scenario. You have that one unplanned meal on the weekend with your friends that then leads to the thought of, oh well, I've already ruined it, I've gone off track, I might as well just enjoy the whole weekend. And that one moment spirals into a weekend of overeating and having you feeling disappointed by Sunday night. But what if I told you that you could sprint through the week and then walk through the weekends with balance and intention? Because that's exactly what the Proflex cycle does. So what exactly is Proflex cycling? This is simply a method of adjusting your calorie intake throughout the week. Instead of eating the same number of calories every single day, you plan to have lower calorie days to create a calorie deficit, and then you allow for higher calorie days to allow for more flexibility and recovery, which encompasses exactly how we try and approach our journey at Proflex Health by being both proactive and flexible. Now there's a number of ways that you can implement Proflex cycling, but the most popular that we use with our clients is what we call the 5-2 split. So Proflex cycling is basically just a method of calorie cycling. So for 5 days, you eat in a calorie deficit to promote fat loss. Then for 2 days, you eat at maintenance or even slightly above to give your body a break, replenish your energy, and most importantly, allow you to enjoy your weekends and your life. Think of it as sprinting through the week where you're working hard, focused, you're disciplined, and then walking over the weekend, where you recover, recharge, and reset. The beauty with this approach is it still allows you to stay in control while still being able to enjoy the balance of life. Now I want to show you some examples of how powerful using the Proflex cycle can be. Shelley came to us stuck in a cycle of restriction and then overeating. Weekends were her biggest challenge, and she felt like she was starting over every single Monday. After implementing Proflex cycling, Shelley lost over 10 kilos, dropped her belly fat, and put on muscle. This allowed her to have more flexibility when it came to the weekend, where she was meeting up with friends or taking the kids out for lunch, and removed the stress of feeling like she needed to be completely dialed in for 7 days a week. And using this method was something that I actually utilized myself. I was the type of person that could stay super disciplined from Monday to Friday. Every single weekend I would throw it all in. And I used to tell myself, surely I've been disciplined enough through the week to make a difference. But at that point, and not having a good understanding of how this all worked, I didn't realize how easy it was to push myself out of a calorie deficit for the week if I didn't approach things in the right way. I've now dropped 25 kilos and managed to keep it off. I've stopped this whole on or off track cycle, and I no longer have any anxiety when it comes to the weekends and food. Now let's break down exactly why Proflex cycling is such an effective strategy. First and foremost, it's just easier to stick to. Knowing that you have higher calorie days to look forward to over the weekend makes it so much easier to stick to those lower calorie days through the week. It gives you that mental freedom to push a bit harder through the week because you know you've got those days coming up where things are going to feel a lot easier. The second thing is it also supports your metabolic health. So we know that when we're in a calorie deficit, hormones like ghrelin are going to be increased, which is our hunger hormone or our desire to eat, and hormones like leptin are going to be decreased. And when leptin is decreased, this is going to affect our ability to burn body fat. And we know that from research showing that by using this approach, we can help to reduce the effects of metabolic adaptation that happen when we're in a calorie deficit. Third benefit of Proflex or calorie cycling is that it can prevent overeating. By strategically planning in these high calorie days, this can help to avoid that feeling that you've been deprived and to remove the desire of wanting to overeat, because you've set your week up in a way that allows you to manage these things proactively. And the fourth benefit is that it can boost your performance and overall recovery. Having these high calorie days can help to replenish something in your body called glycogen, which is basically the stored carbohydrates that we have in our muscles. And when you have more glycogen, you're going to have better energy for your workouts, you're going to be able to recover better, which then means you're going to be able to perform better and focus on getting stronger overall, which is one of the most important things while we're in a calorie deficit and trying to lose body fat. That way we make sure we're doing everything that we can to retain muscle along the way. Now there's a number of different benefits to using this approach. So now that you understand the benefits of Proflex cycling, you're probably wondering how you can set this up and use this for yourself. So firstly, you want to start by figuring out your total daily energy expenditure, which is basically the total amount of energy that you burn every single day. That then gives you the number of calories that you need to eat to maintain your weight. Now the easy and most simple way to do this is to use what's called a calorie calculator. I'll drop a link to my free calorie calculator below. That way you can put in all of your relevant information and it's going to give you the amount of calories that you should be consuming each day. So once you know your TDEE or maintenance calories, we can then walk through exactly how to apply the 5-2 method. So for your low calorie days where you're eating in a calorie deficit, we can create a deficit of around 20 to 25%. So if your maintenance calories were around 2200, that would mean eating around 1700 from Monday to Friday. And then for the 2 days over the weekend, you could simply eat at your maintenance around 2200 or even bump it up slightly and go to around 2300. That way you're spending Monday to Friday in a deficit, but spending your weekend simply back at maintenance. Another way that you can use this strategy if you want to create a larger deficit across the week is by using something that we call calorie banking, which basically means taking even more calories from those days from Monday to Friday and then being able to use them over the weekend. So if we use the same example of your calorie deficit being 1700 calories per day from Monday to Friday, that would mean going a further 50 to 100 calories less across those days, meaning that you'd be consuming around 1600 to 1650 calories per day, and then saving the 50 to 100 calories that you had per day to use over the weekend. Keeping in mind that by creating this larger calorie deficit through the week, this could make it harder for you to stick to. But the benefit of doing it this way is that you still create a large deficit by the end of the week. But if you are using this method, you want to make sure that you're approaching things in the right way, because this really needs to be done and implemented correctly. Remember, we're trying to move away from this whole restrict as hard as we can through the week and then just blow out over the weekend. It's about using this method to help create consistency over time. Now, calorie cycling, or as we call it, Proflex cycling, isn't just about losing weight. It's about creating a sustainable and enjoyable lifestyle that works for you and using something that allows you to balance your goals in your life. If you'd like some one-on-one help to apply this method and finally get the results that you've been wanting, fill out the inquiry form below this video and we'll see if we're the right fit to help you. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with someone that could benefit from using this strategy. Let's make fat loss simple, effective, and enjoyable together.